Quote, AI models are full of troughs or like gravity wells, where it'll always want to pull you kind of towards a trope. When I read this in a great article about AI and art this week, it felt like it hit right between the AIs. Lurking behind this quote from music producer, filmmaker, Little Internet is a tension that's everywhere, but I think unseen. Most AI usage is about completion. Find an answer, assemble a deck, execute a command. These are fun magic tricks, but ultimately they're dead ends. The real value will come when we learn to use LLMs to massively expand creativity. I'm Josh Levine, a transformation executive helping teams learn to use AI together. I've spent the last 20 years paying attention to how work actually works, technology, culture, incentives, and the story we tell ourselves about capitalism doing what it's supposed to do. This is the audio version of my Substack. Go and subscribe. Working out in real time how AI is changing how we look for and do work, and maybe eventually what to do about it. This is the Job Shit Show. This episode, the machine should make you weirder, or guys, I think we're using AI backwards. Asking AI to simply complete tasks is not worth the tokens, and the bill is already coming due. Uber burned its 2026 AI budget in 4 months. When their COO went looking for a return, he admitted that the link wasn't there yet. When their COO attempted to find the benefit, he came up short. And in 3 years, I think we'll look back at this and shake our heads at how primitive our understanding of how we use AI was. AI is more powerful at opening us up than cinching down. Little Internet and the other artists featured in that article I mentioned are creating some fascinating visual art and music. But I'm much more interested in exploring how we can use AI to foster creativity in business, which is why I interviewed Aidan Nepon, a leadership development coach and, it turns out, fellow improviser. If you've taken an intro to acting in college or at any other time, you know that with improv, the whole goal is to create a story from nothing. With years of experience mastering this skill, people like Aidan are excellent at thinking on their feet and generating ideas. And I've found that's a superpower in business. In fact, I credit years of improv training with my ability to facilitate a room of unpredictable executives. I want to poke at one piece of my conversation with Aidan, the part about how she gets her clients to be more creative. So here are 3 tools, or games as they're known in the world of improv, that Aidan uses with her clients. We'll talk through them and then I'll share how I think we can use this kind of structure with AI to get similar results. Game 1, yes and, or the yes and brainstorm. This is the first rule of improv. Say yes and. This is called accepting and building on an offer. By now, you may have heard this language around the office. Personally, I love that the business world has adopted this. Here's how Aidan uses it. 1, she sets a timer, so it's a limited time task. 2, the first person presents an idea or a solution to a problem, maybe the one that you're working on. 3, continue around the room building on that previous idea. Every contribution has to open by accepting the last idea and adding one thing to it. The yes and. No buts. That's called blocking. This helps train the humans in the room to stop self-editing, which is the point. It's not about good ideas. It's about volume and momentum and exploring the corners of concepts that you would have not gotten to previously. 2, power personas. There's power in personas, which is why this one works so well. Aidan was coaching a singing student, and instead of giving them specific improvements to make, like sing higher in your forehead or trill your voice, she told her to sing like Beyoncé. On stage or in the room, it's the same. That idea of putting in or giving a persona or a role loads everything at once. To explore ideas for a pitch, strategy, or campaign, give people in the room different characters to play, i.e., Quote, you're a founder of a totally different industry, a chef, a video game designer, a theme park designer who's never seen how our industry does things and brings their own playbook. Or you're a person who's obsessed with this idea and wants 10 more versions of it right now because one wasn't enough. Giving people permission to make decisions that they wouldn't normally make offers that they wouldn't normally make, and take the idea and the conversation in directions that they wouldn't normally make is a very powerful tool. All right, number 3, third game, scene prototyping. This one's more advanced and likely not something your team will be able to do without support, he says, foreshadowing the next section. That limitation is why Aidan brought in fellow improvisers to help a Fortune 500 company explore some new ideas they were entertaining. Once the ideas were narrowed to the 10 hottest, the improvisers acted out short scenes of each so the room could see and hear what the idea would actually feel like. Most people can't picture what doesn't exist. So this is a way to build what the future might be live. I can see that you know where I'm going next with this. AI can run these games with you. No room full of improvisers required. All right, let's do it again. Go through the 3 tools, but this time, how might we use them with AI? The yes and brainstorm. Tell Claude we're playing yes and that Claude's only job is to accept my idea and stack one more on top. Don't evaluate it. Keep going till I say stop. You stay the source of the ideas. AI keeps the scene from stalling and won't let you kill your own thought halfway through. This is great for the messy front end of developing a new strategy or campaign before you narrow down anything. 2, power personas. Likely you are already starting your prompts with the classic, quote, act as. If so, great job. It's time to upgrade your game. Cast a specific textured character and make AI stay in that character. Instead of, quote, act as a brand strategist, or what I do, act as an editor of, a magazine, try something more specific. You're a 24-year-old who's never heard of our product and thinks all companies like ours are the same. These personas are powerful because that way you are giving the AI some guardrails. Another possibility, another way to play power personas is to develop a panel of agents, each with a different role. Have a conversation with them individually about specific challenges or all together. Each one can highlight a different truth, a path, an option. Casting a character isn't a prompt trick. It's forcing AI to improvise. A role with a real bias forces your conversation away from the average, which, let's be honest, is the enemy here. All right, scene prototyping. Number 3, stop asking AI to write the final output. This is a good rule for this exercise and pretty much anytime you're using AI. This improv game, you needed professionals to help with, but now you can explore the whole experience with Claude. I mean, granted, it won't be as fun, but you could do it a lot more quickly. Here's what you do. Ask it to play your idea out. Hey, let's run this conversation 10 different ways, or act out what this launch announcement sounds like in 10 different ways, specifically to burnt out employees or perhaps enthusiastic employees. The goal is to prototype the feeling and to sharpen your own instincts. This is the antidote to this concept of outsourcing your judgment, which is one element that Aidan and many other leaders are worried about. Beware the gravity well. Little Internet's solution to avoiding the averaging that AI wants is to introduce incoherence with your prompts. I respect that. And for artists, it totally makes sense. But for the rest of us looking to expand our ideation in a business context, introducing structures like those from improv are better suited to the task. These games aren't party tricks. They're tools of constraint that ironically help create more divergent outputs, each one helping us to escape the pull of averages. AI anxiety has primarily been focused on replacing human thinking. I don't believe that's going to happen. But we still need to put in the effort to avoid sameness. We need to invert our thinking. We need to learn to get AI to prompt us into new ways of thinking, just like a great improviser can. The Job Shit Show is brought to you by me and my company, Great Mondays, a change consultancy helping leaders of private companies elevate how their teams operate in an AI-driven world. Learn more about my work at greatmondays.com. Subscribe to the Job Shit Show. Subscribe to the Job Shit Show on Substack, like I already told you to, joshlevine.substack.com. And if this episode was helpful, send it to a friend. And if you're really into it, rate and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps other people find the show. The Shit Show continues next week. I'll talk to you then.